Okay. Okay, today is August the 6th, 2014. It is 2:23 p.m. I'm on the Shinnecock Indian Reservation at the home of Arthur T. Williams, Sr. Arthur was born on January 15th, 1921, on the Shinnecock Indian Reservation. He served in World War II in the U.S. Army, and this is his interview. Okay. Where were you living at the time you were drafted?
Shinnecock Reservation.
Okay. And do you remember arriving? Oh, well, hold on a second. Why did you join?
I was drafted.
Okay. And did you get to pick your service branch that you served in?
Yes. In one way, I had a privilege of picking. At that time, now you want me to tell all of this?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. At that time, they had the colored and the white, and I picked the colored. And when I was inducted at Whitehall Street, there was two doors. One said white and one said colored. And I went through the colored door.
Oh.
And then after that, came back to Camp Upton, and I stayed there until 2 weeks. And then I was sent to Camp Pickett, Virginia.
Oh.
And I had my basic training in the medics at Camp Pickett, Virginia. And I stayed there 6 months. And then I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And I joined the 93rd Division, which was all black, all colored. And there's where I spent my Army days with the 93rd Division in the 318 Medical Battalion.
Oh, okay. Okay. And tell me about your boot camp training experiences.
Well, my training experience in Camp Pickett, Virginia, was just basically Army training to get familiarized with the Army. Learn how to drill and walk guard duty, do whatever duties there were in a camp for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I never had any medical training there. And then when I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, to the 93rd Division, I was put in the 318 Medical Battalion. And I went into the ambulance service there. And I was a transportation sergeant in the 318 Medical Battalion, which I was over the ambulances and the transportation that we had, providing transportation for the company.
Oh, okay. And do you remember your instructors?
In Camp Pickett, Virginia? Or
any of the instructors that you had when you were in the military?
Yes, I had my instructor at Camp Pickett, Virginia was Captain, I think his name was Captain Yaggett. And he was very strict but very nice, and that's where I learned my military training under him.
Oh. And he was Caucasian?
White.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How did you get through your training? Was it difficult?
No, it was just ordinary learning everyday life of the Army.
Mm-hmm. And which wars did you serve in?
Well, from Fort Huachuca, Arizona, we went to Needles, California, on the desert. And we had maneuvers for 6 months on the desert in Needles, California, where the very hot weather, and we trained in that hot weather to go to Africa, they told us. But then we ended up, after our training, then we started maneuvers. We went to Louisiana, and from Louisiana we went back to California, and then from California we went to the Western Pacific and traveled to different islands. We never seen any combat.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to the different islands with the medics. At the 93rd Division, I was in the medics. But when we moved into a medical area where the troops had moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we went to, I think, about 3 or 4 different islands. And about every 3 months, we would go to a different island.
Oh.
And just occupy the island. There was no war or anything there.
Mm-hmm.
No combat, put it that way, no combat. And then we went to the Philippines. And that's where we spent most of our time, in the Philippines, in Mindanao. And from Mindanao, when the war was coming to an end, we went to Leyte. And from Leyte, we came back to California, and I was discharged. I was sent to Fort Lee, I guess it's Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was discharged there.
Okay. Okay. And what was your specific job assignment?
Dispatching the ambulance to different areas, mm-hmm. and the transportation for my company.
Did you have wounded that you picked up?
Well, we picked up our maneuvers. The people were getting in accidents, and we would pick them up and transport them to a hospital.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. Tell me a couple of your most memorable experiences.
Well, we was up in New Guinea, and there was no war zone around there. And one night, we were all in the movies, and that was the Air Force headquarters for the Southwest Pacific. And while at the movies, the island was all lit up. And a Japanese bomber came in on the tail end of one of our transports coming in, and dropped a bomb in the theater area. There was about 15 men killed. And other than that, there was no Japanese there or any. Just they dropped the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only time that I was near any kind of combat or anything.
Wow. Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations during your service?
Let me see here. I've got something here. Well, here, you can look on there. The medals right there.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay. So you received the Asiatic Pacific Service Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, the World War II Victory Medal, and the American Service Medal. Very good. Okay. Okay. How did you stay in touch with your family during that time?
We were allowed to write letters home, but they wouldn't send directly home. They were reviewed by an officer so that we wouldn't tell any information where we were located or anything. Okay. And then the letters were sent home.
Oh, okay. And what was the food like in the service?
Very bad. And the rations that we had, they would deliver it every morning, once a day. And it was so hot, the ration dumps used to blow up.
My.
And for a long time, for breakfast, we had black coffee with no milk or sugar, and a roll. That was breakfast for a long time before we were able to get supplies in.
Wow. Hmm. And what about your sleeping quarters? Where did you guys sleep?
Well, we had tents, and there was 3 men to a tent.
Mm-hmm.
And the rainy season in New Guinea, or the islands, the rainy season, it rained for sometimes 2 months straight.
Oh, my.
And everything was wet. Your clothes, your cigarettes, everything, your bed, for at least 3 months.
Wow.
And we used to have to wade through water almost up to our waist to get to the mess hall, which was on a little hill.
Wow. Did you experience any, like, dangerous reptiles or anything like that?
No.
When you were, no?
No.
Were there any dangers of all the rain, like people getting sick or stuff like that?
Well, through the rain, you had to be careful and make sure that you stayed dry, because you would get a fungus.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of it would last all during the time you were on the islands.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to be very careful and stay very dry and clean.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. Okay. Did you feel that you had plenty of supplies when you were there?
Food, no.
Mm-hmm.
But medical supplies and things like that, we always had medical supplies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And did you feel any pressure or stress when you were in the military?
No, because I got adjusted to it after a while. And it was almost like home was so far away you didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Only when you got a letter.
Mm-hmm. Was there something special that you did for good luck? Like rubbed a cross or something like that every morning or something in that area?
No, they had a chapel and we went to church regular.
Mm-hmm.
They had a chapel.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And how did people entertain themselves?
Well, they had movies. And the area, the entertainment, the entertainment shows, the movie stars or whoever, whatever, would come in to entertain you. We'd go to them shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what did you do when you were on leave? Did you have leave?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, I came home on a furlough 3 times while I was in the States, because I was in the States a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But I came home 3 times on a furlough.
And besides your stations, did you travel when you were in the service?
Oh, yes. We went to Las Vegas. Because of Needles, California, we used to go out and go up to Lake Mead and camp up there for the weekend. And then we would go into Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. And do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual event while you were in the military?
No, not really.
Okay. Did you have any USO shows that you went to?
Oh, yes. We had USO shows we'd come in and we'd go to.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any photographs that you took while you were in the military?
No.
No. And what did you think of your officers or your fellow soldiers that you served with?
Well, all of my officers came in as a professional. They were lieutenants or captains because they were doctors or lawyers. And I found that I learned like an education with being among these people, men. And I learned a lot about life because all of my officers were from the South. And I learned, it was like an education in itself to deal with these men.
Okay. Did you keep a personal diary while you were in the military?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. And do you recall the day your service ended?
Yes. We left camp, Fort Lee, New Jersey. And we rented a car and came into New York. And there was 5 of us. And we spent the night in New York, going around to different nightclubs and partying into New York.
Ended with a bang, huh?
Right.
Okay. And what did you do in the days and weeks after you finished with the military?
Well, for a while, I just enjoyed life, being home. And I tried to work in Southampton, but at that time there was no work. And I left here and went to Brooklyn to work. And I worked for the city for 23 years and retired from the city.
Okay. And did you have any education that you tapped in with the GI Bill?
No.
No? Okay. Did the military give you any kind of compensation or discharge money when you left?
No, just your transportation home. That was all.
Oh, okay. And did you make any close friendships while you were in the service?
Yes, very. I had a number of friends, which I really enjoyed and spent the life while I was in the Pacific with these men, and I enjoyed it very much.
Have you kept in contact with them when you got out?
Yes.
For how long?
Oh, about maybe 10 years.
Oh, okay. And did you join any veterans organizations when you got out of the military?
The VFW.
Oh, okay.
I'm a lifetime member.
Oh, okay.
Of the VFW.
Okay. Okay. And where did you go on to do as a career after the war?
Well, I got married and raised a family and worked till I retired.
Okay. And did you think your military experience influenced your future?
Yes, very much.
Can you expand on that?
Well, life in Long Island at the reservation here, there was no work. And there was no transportation. You walked wherever you wanted to go. And by being in the service, when I was discharged, I left here and went away to live. And I returned home to live in 1982, back to the reservation.
And what did you, from your military experience, how did you apply that into your life?
Well, I had been into transportation all my life. With the military, I was a transportation sergeant. And when I came home, I worked for New York City Transit and retired from there.
Oh, okay. If you're, let's see, you're in the VFW. What kind of activities does your post or association have?
Well, and when I in the city, there was no entertainment or anything, or no meetings. It was just that I just joined.
Okay. All right. And do you attend any reunions that they have with your military unit? Did you attend any reunions once you left the military?
Only once.
Once?
Once, yes.
And where was that at?
In New York.
Okay. Was there many people that attended?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's great. All right. Is there anything you would like to add that we have not covered in the interview?
No, well, let's put it, I'll say this, that by being in the service, it was an education within itself. And the people that I was associated with, I learned, like, it was education to me, and helped me in my life.
How did it help you in your life?
Well, with different people, and meeting people, how to treat people, how to respect, and people respected me for that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I hope there's something there.
Yes.